Hi, y'all, and welcome to another Trash Panda Thursday. Hope everybody has had a good week so far. The weekend is almost here. Let's get this show on the road. All right, I got three things I want to talk about this week in channel chat, and the first is something I meant to mention last week and forgot. When my channel hit its 1 year birthday, I thought that might make a good time to do some New Year's resolutions for the new year for the channel. And I made a few, but two of them were to start using my Instagram account again and to get better at Facebook. I suck at Facebook. I don't care for Facebook a whole lot. And it seems like I'll get in a good rhythm where I think, okay, go check Facebook, or okay, go post this on Facebook. And then after a couple weeks, I just don't anymore. I don't know what it is, why I have this mental block on Facebook. But I've already posted a few things to my Instagram account, and my Instagram handle is just Techno Hillbilly, spelled just like the channel. And I really plan on being busy with Instagram because it just seems easier and quicker to do while I'm out. Facebook, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll get over it, and maybe one day there won't be a Facebook and I won't have to worry about it no more. I don't know. Second thing I wanted to talk about this week is merch. And I'm moving the merch store. I'm not terribly happy with Teespring. There are a couple reasons for that, but the big one deals with quality. I have a couple of shirts from Teespring that have gone to pieces after just a couple of washes. One of them, there's basically no logo, no print left on it at this point. And I've talked to some other people and they've had the same issue with Teespring. So I'm moving all the merch to a site called Redbubble, which is the online store I had started to go with in the beginning, and for some reason second guessed myself. I have 2 or 3 new designs already up on the Redbubble store, and I plan on moving everything over as I get time to do it. It's a slow process, but I like Redbubble a lot better. The products on Redbubble are awesome. I like how you can team up with different artists and creators and that kind of thing. I think it's going to be a lot better in the long run. And the last thing I want to talk about this week in channel chat is my contest. My 1 year birthday contest will end at noon on Saturday, May 1st. You have to email your answers. The questions for the scavenger hunt are in the description of the video. That way you don't have to go through the video and watch and pause and write it down and all that kind of stuff. They're all there, making it easy. Remember, that's noon. The last time I'll check the email and look for answers, noon this Saturday, May 1st, which is also Kentucky Derby Day. I'm pretty excited about that. I always am. So let's talk Derby. Now, the Derby is probably the biggest and maybe most important tradition we have in Kentucky. It is certainly something to see. I don't know if this goes on in other states, but if you live here in Kentucky, especially in central Kentucky, Derby coverage starts about 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday and goes non-stop all day long. Because the Derby really isn't run till in the evening, 6 o'clock and after. And that gives you a lot to watch. And a lot of it is just watching the people, the hats and the clothes and the drunks and all that stuff. It really is something to see. So in this week's Nerd Alert, we're going to talk about betting terminology. There's almost a whole different language when it comes to going to the horse races and betting on horses. I'm not a big bettor. I don't sit at home and bet on my phone or anything. But if I go to Keeneland to the races, I like to bet like $1 on each race. Because, it's fun to stand out on the track and holler like an idiot over a $1 bet, especially when you win. Like, if you bet $1 and win $3 and just carry on like you're a millionaire. It's fun. It really is. So I thought I would go over some of the betting terminology and how you actually place bets when you go to the track. At least as much of it as I understand, because it can get complicated. The first 3 words you probably need to know if you're going to go to a horse race are win, place, and show. Now, these are probably the 3 words that most people know what they mean when it comes to horse racing. But win means first place, place means second place, show means third place, in that order. Now, placing the bet It's really easy once you've got the rhythm down to it when you go up to the windows. Now, you can only place bets in cash. You can't use your debit card, you can't use a credit card, nothing like that. You have to have the cash. And most tracks have ATMs and things if you need the cash. But when you walk up to the window, the first thing you need to tell the person taking your bet is what racetrack is the race you're betting on. Because no matter what racetrack you go to, you can bet on races at other tracks, and there'll be TVs set up in different places where you can watch those. So the first thing you need to know, what track are you dealing with? Now, we're going to pretend like we're at Keeneland, and most times if you're at Keeneland and you walk up and you don't say a different track, they automatically know you're betting on a race at Keeneland. It's kind of common sense. Now, the second thing you need to know is the race number. And that's just what race of the day it is. Most races, I think all of them, have some kind of a big fancy name. You know, there's like the Bluegrass Stakes, there's the Jenny Wiley Stakes. They all have different names, but you need to know the number, and it's just what order that race happens during the day. Third, naturally, how much you're going to bet. And like I said, I always bet $1. Sometimes if I've done good that day, I might bet $2 on a race just because. And you can do all your betting at once. You can bet on every race that day all at one time, or I like to spread it out during the day. I go make my bet maybe 30 minutes before a race starts because I like to look at the horses and things when they parade them through the paddock. You get that first look and see if they're feisty. Somebody told me once if they look like they have to pee, don't bet on them. But if they pee while they're in the paddock, you do bet on them. You know, there's all kinds of things to how people pick what horse they're betting on. I just kind of like their attitude and how aware of things they seem to are. Sometimes you look and their eyes are darting around and that kind of thing. It looks like they're just ready to run. They're ready to go. Now, you also need to know your horse's number. The names of horses are fun. Sometimes they're interesting. Sometimes they cause you to scratch your head a little bit. But you need to know what number the horse is because that's how you place your bet. The people in the betting windows probably don't know what the horses' names are. And finally, this is where it gets interesting. You have to know what kind of bet you're going to place. Now, the typical, and this is just what I do, I place my bet to win. So let's say I pick the number 14 horse on the second race. You'd say I put $2 down for the 14th horse to win on the second race. That's really all it is to how it works if you're just being simple about it. Now you can bet place, which means if your horse wins first or second, you win. And you can bet show, and that means if your horse wins first, second, or third, you win something. Now, there are much more complicated bets than that. I've never really fooled with anything. But the one you've probably heard about the most is called the exacta. And exacta basically means you pick two horses, 1 and 2, to finish first and second in a race, and that they finish that way in that order. Got to have first and second place exactly right. Trifecta, same thing, but you pick first, second, and third. Now, a newer one that you don't hear people talk about a whole lot is a superfecta, and that's if you pick first, second, third, and fourth exactly right in the correct order. Now, the odds that you see on horse races are not really that confusing, but they can be. Basically, if you bet on a horse and that horse has 4-to-1 odds to win, let's say you bet $1 to win. If that horse wins, you get $4, 4-to-1, or 4 for every $1. 3-to-1 works the same way, that kind of thing. Now, I've told y'all before, I am not a math whiz, and sometimes you'll see things like 3-to-2 odds, and that because I don't even understand it. I just know, typically don't bet on a favorite, so I don't really go for the ones that have really good odds. Now, as far as this year's horses go, there's some pretty ones, and there's some that look like they've got a little attitude. One that has really caught my attention because every picture I've seen of this horse, he's looking side-eye at the camera, and his name is Keep Me in Mind. Now, his odds right now are 50-to-1, so he looks like a long shot, but if I bet $1 on him to win and he wins, I'd get 50, so couldn't complain about that. The other horse that's caught my attention this year is Hot Rod Charlie. There's something in his pictures. He looks like he's got a little fire in his back legs or something. I don't know what it is about him, but he's got that look. So as far as my two picks this year for Derby, it's going to be Keep Me in Mind and Hot Rod Charlie. So that's it for this week's Nerd Alert. Do you have a favorite you're picking for the Derby this year? Let me know down in the comments. As I always like to see, who picks what horse and who wins and that kind of thing. And what's your strategy in picking a horse? Do you just go after the name? Do you pick the color of the silk the jockey's wearing? How do you decide? So for this week's taste test, it's actually a substitute for a different taste test I'd intended to do. A few weeks ago, I was down at the Walmarts and I found Fruity Pebble candy bars. And you know I had to get one. And the whole intent in buying one was to do a taste test. And it didn't survive long enough to have a taste test video. I loved it, I will say that. Loved it so much that I went back to Walmart before I went on the trip to Jenny Wiley's. I'm like, I need to share these with people, and was going to get some to give away to everybody, and there was only 2 in the whole store that I could find. And I gave them to Big Joe and Malia and Otis and Melissa. But Melissa was telling me that she had seen at the Dollar General Fruity Pebbles ice cream. Melissa, this was for you because I went and got some and I've been waiting for 3 days now to try this. I've been dying to try it. I love Fruity Pebbles, anything Fruity Pebble. The candy bars were great because even though it was like Fruity Pebbles in white chocolate, basically, something about it tasted just like a bowl of Fruity Pebbles in milk. It was really wild. So I'm really excited and I'm really happy I don't have to wait anymore to eat this. I'm going to tear it up probably, and I'm already going to tell you right now, before I taste it, I'm going to give it a thumbs up. It's good, and I'm going to recommend it to everybody. I just have that feeling. I want to do something easy this week after eating those damn pickled eggs. Okay. Now this cup of ice cream, you see how big it is? Does it have a size on it? 14 ounces, it was $2. You can see what it looks like with the lid off. I see Fruity Pebbles. If this ain't as good as I'm thinking it's going to be, I'm going to be terribly disappointed. Here we go. It's pretty soft. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I might need another bite just to make sure. At first, it does not taste like Fruity Pebbles. It tastes like, I don't know what you'd call that. Just kind of, it almost has like a strawberry ice cream taste to it at the very beginning. But then that Fruity Pebble taste kicks in. Oh, this is good. They need to sell this by the gallon. Two-thirds of a cup has 150 calories. That's not horrible, is it? I might need to go back and get a few more of these. I'm telling y'all what. Try the Fruity Pebbles candy bars if you see them where you're at. I like the candy bar better than the ice cream, I think. I'm not a big ice cream eater anyway, but this is good, and I would say it won't make it till midnight. Now, before I go this week, I want to talk about one more thing that really didn't fit into anything. That's ticks. Now, when we were at Jenny Wiley, it's been 2 weeks. It'll be 2 weeks tomorrow. We weren't even unpacked yet, and we found a tick. Now, this early in the year, it's early for lightning bugs, and it's early for ticks. And sure enough, we saw one. And then this week, after I came home from the farm the other night, I found one on my leg. And the first thing I did when I found it was grab the phone to call Mom and tell them, hey, I found a tick. Y'all need to check. Then I got to thinking, isn't it funny how whenever you find a tick, you have this weird, like, compunction to make a big announcement to everybody you know about it. It's like as soon as you find one, you got to call and tell, I found a tick, I found a tick. It's a weird thing. You got to tell somebody as soon as you find one. It's odd. And I wonder, do you do that? Like if you find a tick, is there an announcement made? It's it's kind of a strange thing, but my whole life I found one. I got to tell everybody, make sure they don't have them. It's really weird. And do you live in a place where checking for ticks is a common activity? Because I've always wondered that too. I know ticks are everywhere. They live everywhere, but seems like in the summertime here, it don't really matter what you've been out doing. When you get home with the evening, you check for ticks just to be safe. And is everywhere like that? I don't know. But thank you all, as always, for tuning in and putting up with my foolishness. I appreciate it. I wish everybody good luck on the contest. And remember, the winner will be announced Sunday. And I can't wait to see who wins. Until next time, everybody stay safe and take care. Mwah.